So, welcome back. I forgot to set the mic up for my ride home. I just picked up the 2026 BMW M2 in Sao Paulo green or Sao Paulo yellow. Most of the time it looks green. And I'm on the way back to my city. It's about a 300-mile drive. What's that? 330-mile drive away. It's gonna be a while. It's probably like a 5-hour trip. So what I'm about to do is just kind of give you an update. I don't know, I've driven 5 miles so far up the street, and I'm just getting on the road. I haven't even adjusted my mirrors fully yet. I haven't gotten like really seated in the car to where everything feels comfortable. I don't know if I'm in the right position at the moment, but we'll figure stuff out. The biggest thing right now that I feel is this is a manual, so now I have to get used to a manual again. But what's also interesting is I'm having to think about my revs as we break this in, and think about how to vary my revs so it's not consistent, or my RPM so it's not consistent, and so we could hit some higher ones and then hit some lower ones at the same time without going over the 4,000 or 5,000 RPM limit. It's also tough because it's mostly freeway, and at freeway generally you're just at the same, general RPM, general speed the whole way. So for me, it's like going through the gears 3, 4, 5, 6 every few minutes just to get that, just to get through the braking and have the engine get up to where it needs to be and be normal. I don't want to mess up the engine just from the start. So the whole idea here is to vary my revs as much as possible. Go through the gears as much as possible, warm the tires up. It's a cold day. Check on my MPG. The first thing I noticed here, the MPG since factory is 7 point something, and that is massively low. That's like I'm driving a F350, Ford F350 or GMC something, which I didn't bank on it being that low, but it had 20 miles when I got it, 26 miles. So I think those are just probably people test driving, or city miles that they're just going from dealership to dealership, or whatever that looks like. And so right now I'm basically figuring out how to up my MPG, or at least my average MPG, so it's not that bad, because 7 miles per gallon is hella crazy. So what I'm doing now is just chilling, just going through, figuring out where everything is. And the reason I got this in manual, the reason I got this in manual was because I test drove both the automatic and the manual versions of this car, and the automatic version just felt like another M240, just faster, or not even faster, but just, I don't know, more top end. And I didn't feel like that was interesting. I'm not one to just go fast, I'm not always just trying to go fast. I want to kind of more of an engaging driving experience. I like to go through corners and think about what I'm doing and stuff like that. So driving the manual, it took me back 10 years since I've driven a manual daily, and it's been really nice. It's a really good change from what I'm used to doing every day, which is that boring automatic drive. And even though the automatic would be faster, I'm not trying to go any faster. I don't want to get any tickets or get to speeds that are super illegal. So I'm enjoying the slowness, I guess you could say, and the idea of me having to find the gears, find what gear I should be in for what speed. It feels really nice to be back in a manual. Check me in, let's see, 6 months and see if I still have that same feeling, or I'm completely sick of it and I want to go back to an automatic because of traffic, or just sitting in the lines waiting on stuff. But for now, I'm really enjoying the feeling, and I'm loving being in a manual, just going through these gears. And what I like about being in a manual, I've driven manual a lot, but usually it's kind of low performing cars, or low performance cars, which are like, okay, cool. But being in a higher performance car that's also a manual, I am really enjoying that feeling, and I'm really excited that I bought this car in a manual, because this is supposed to be the best of the best when it comes to cars, and I get to figure it out in a manual. On my way down here though, I was thinking, like, gosh, BMW makes the automatic. Why do you think you're smarter than BMW to drive a manual better and think this car fits being a manual better? And I was like, well, I don't know, but it just felt more like I had more to do. And for me, that's fun, because driving has gotten super boring over the past, I don't know, decades or so, because we're just going straight. We're just going straight, you know. And we're just pressing the gas, pressing the brake, pressing the gas, pressing the brake. This gives me so much more to do. It's so much more fun than, I guess, automatic. Yeah, so right now we're gonna head back to the house. It's gonna take a while. Once I figure out my mirrors and my settings, whatever, I'll give you guys an update. But this is honestly my first new car. I bought tons of cars in the past, but they've all been kind of slightly used or gently used, and this is the first time I'm picking up a brand new car for myself. Feels really good. Feels really fun. I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of this car. This one has the carbon roof. I'm gonna miss my sunroof, but it's a change, and I'm all about doing something different. So let's see what joys the carbon roof brings. First thing I notice is the steering wheel is pulling me left or right because of lane changes. I'm gonna have to get that fixed, or not fixed, but adjusted as soon as possible. I honestly really hate that. I can't remember where the setting is, else I'd have done it already. But that's one of the first things you do when you buy a new BMW or modern BMW is go online. I mean, not online. Go into the menus, turn off that. I guess it's lane keep assist, because it will pull the car to the point where you're like, no. It almost feels like it's taking the car away from you, and that to me is a bigger cause of an accident versus me just kind of veering off, because I'm already kind of conscious and holding the steering wheel. So that's one thing to know. If you have a new BMW and you feel like the car is tugging or pulling to one way, that's just a lane assist. Go in the settings and turn it off immediately. I'll show you guys how to do that too once I probably get home. That'll be a own separate kind of YouTube short video style thing. So yeah. Also, what's kind of cool is there's a 6th gear in here. I've never really driven a 6th gear manual before. All manuals I've driven in the past have been 5 gears. So having this 6th gear, I don't know what to do with it. I was like, if it works, what do I do with 6th gear? I don't know. But we're gonna enjoy it and find out. And I'm learning myself this car, and I'm learning how to drive a high performance manual versus those usual cheapo manuals that I've driven in the past. They're like work trucks, or, you know, just random lower budget cars. My favorite manual for me was the Fiat 500, which I owned for a really long time, and I put tons and tons of miles on that one. I loved that manual, but I also loved it because I spent a lot of time in it, so I just grew to love it. I had no choice but to love it. But the gears were like boom, 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 boom. You could really feel them. You just slot it into gear, and you pull, you slot, you pull, you slot, and it feels like really gated. It felt like, I don't know, just a really nicely gated gearbox. I didn't have to search for it, which is really nice. Yeah, so I enjoyed that manual. I could just flick the stick into the gear I want with like one finger. It just felt really natural and became second nature over years. And I hope this one is the same and it becomes second nature to me over years too. When I test drove this car, the manual version of this, a couple weeks ago, it felt really squishy. The gearbox felt really squishy, and I was like, oh, this is weird. And then I went online and did some research, and everyone is saying that that's how it felt to them too. Like after I started watching more car reviewers and whatever, and I didn't know what that feeling was until, you know, I kind of read more about it, and they said it just feels squishy. So it felt that way to me when I did it, but now that I'm in one, it doesn't feel like that anymore. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it was just that one and these feel better. I have no idea. Maybe it's a slight update by BMW on the 2026 models, because the one I drove was a 2024, I believe, or 2025, 2024 and 2025. So that's what that felt like. Right now it feels really, really nice, and I'm super happy about it. I'll do more of an in-depth review once I hit the road and put a couple 100 miles on it, and then we'll talk again before I get back to the house, and we'll just kind of talk about how the drive has been feeling. Alright, if you like more of these videos, I guess like and subscribe, because we have to say that for YouTube to get more subscribers. Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon.